Hi, this is Brett with Aim Small, Miss Small TV. We've got two rifles we're looking at today, or comparing today. The CZ457 at 1 and the CZ457 Varmint Precision Trainer. I've got actually the major difference between these two are the stocks. The Boyd stock for at 1 and a Manners stock for the Precision Trainer. Other than that, I'm using the same rails, Area 419 rails. I've got a 30 MOA, a 15 MOA. For the rails, I've got the same Athlon scope. I love this guy. It's a 10 by 40 by 56 for doing the ARA matches. All I need is the center dot. Now it does have the windage and elevation, but the only thing I pay attention to is the center dot. And I'm grateful that these have the center dot without having kind of being connected to a line. The dot just stands alone, so that's great. And what else? I've got these Vortex, rings that I love very much. I've talked about them in the at 1 video when I did my first overview or first impression of that rifle, so you can kind of check that out. I'll also have all this information in the description. Well, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified. Thank you. That's not the end. I thought I'd have a little fun. I've had a couple of viewers tell me to have some fun. I know I have a monotone voice and everything, so why not just have a little fun? Let's continue the review. I've got the 24-inch barrel on each of these. The Manners, the Precision Varmint Precision Trainer has not been fired by me yet. It has been fired by, of course, CZ. When they test and they show you a little picture of the target. Do I have a sample of that handy? I don't. What do I want to talk about? Well, we're going to tear these rifles down. First thing I want to do is, well, let's compare them side by side as far as the specs go. Okay, barrel in action. First of all, the Varmint Precision Trainer goes for $11.89. That's retail US. And the CZ457 Varmint at 1 is $6.68 US. Purpose, interestingly enough, the CZ gives a purpose for the rifles. So they call the at 1 a hunting rifle, and they call the Precision Trainer a competition rifle. Makes sense, Precision Trainer. What else do we have? The trigger. The trigger. They call it fully adjustable. And really, for me, the only adjustment that I found useful is the pre-travel. Other than that, I honestly couldn't get the trigger adjusted between whatever their range was. I think it's somewhere between 4.5 to 3.5 pounds is what they say. But I couldn't get it adjusted at all. But I did add in both of these rifles a Yo Dave trigger. I do have videos of there. I'll put those in the description. And the Yo Dave trigger put me right at a pound. Sometimes just under, sometimes just over, but really right about a pound. Both of them have a 24-inch barrel, like I mentioned. It's 1 16 twist. They call it a heavy tempered, cold hammer forged. Well, that's quite a mouthful. Barrel, and they're both suppressor ready. The action is a 25 long rifle. 5-round magazine comes standard. 11 millimeter dovetail, and I basically slid on the 419 rails on there, and they don't come with sights. As far as the stock, remember, really as far as the action, the barrel, anything metal above the stock is the same. I say it's the same, but I will honestly tell you, for whatever reason, I like the trigger, and maybe it was just whoever set it up or put it in there and adjusted it. They did a great job. Right out of the box, the trigger on the Precision was right at 2 pounds. And they may have done that because it's a competition rifle versus a hunting rifle. But I think even 3 pounds, 4.5 pounds, maybe 4.5 pounds is okay for hunting, but I think normally they prefer a heavier trigger. But the Varmint Precision just didn't really have a lot of pre-travel. I have, since I did this review and I had this kind of part, I went ahead and adjusted the pre-travel on this guy, and now it's pretty good now too. Either way, I don't think either of these triggers are quite as good as the Tikka right out of the box. The Tikka, you can only adjust the trigger pull, but honestly, I think that's all you need to adjust on that rifle. It's such a great trigger right out of the box as a factory trigger. All right, so let's get back to the what we're working on here. Like I mentioned earlier, Manor stock on the Varmint Precision, Boyd stock on the @1. As best as I can tell, if we were just to kind of put a value on the stock, I would say the stock is about $210 for the Boyd and about $731 for the Manor stock. Overall length of the Varmint Precision, 42.5, and of course 42 for the @1. Length of pole for the Precision Trainer, 14 inches. You have adjustable length of pole on the @1, so it's 12.5 to 14.25 inches. And then on the @1, you also have an adjustable comb or cheek rest, which will go from 0, kind of flush, to 1.8 of an inch. Now that we've gone through the specs, let's take a look at what I'm actually super impressed with. I'm going to roll a video right after this of the two actions out of the stocks, in basically taking a video where the action screws into the stock. You'll see on the Precision Trainer that the stock is peller bedded and also has bedding in the front, kind of where the barrel and the receiver meet. I'm most excited about the peller bedding because I have another rifle that is just terrible, and that was this. I looked it up earlier. Savage TR 7 Mark II TR, and that standard stock, or the stock, the stock that comes with that rifle. I honestly, it's the outside, the shape and everything's great, but the way the action and the trigger guard and the action screws come together, there's a really big gap where at one point I put a bunch of washers in between and just try to peller bed it, and really didn't make any difference. In fact, that gun, or that rifle, is currently at a gunsmith right now getting peller bedded and action bedded as well. So we'll see how that comes out once it's done. But the Manor stock, I think the fit and finish and the preciseness of the cuts in the rifle are much tighter tolerances than in the Boyd stock. Well, let's roll to the video, let you check it out. All right, I want to take a look at inside, where the receiver mounts. A couple very obvious things which makes me think the Manor stock is going to be a more accurate stock. Number one, this block back here that holds the rear of the receiver, I don't think this is removable, and it's much bigger than the one in the @1, the Boyd @1, and this one just actually basically flies out. So this tells me right off the bat that the receiver has more chance of moving in this stock than, of course, in this stock. But more importantly, I think the fact that you basically have a peller bedding right here. So you have metal to the receiver to the actual action screws, both front and rear. I think that's pretty impressive, especially because I have a Savage Mark II, I think it's called a Precision something. Basically it's air. I mean, not good on the Savage, but take a look at this rifle here, the Boyd stock. So it's basically a hole. You've got wood, which isn't terrible, but it's still not metal to metal contact. And of course, here's the front. And then right here, you have a little bit of bedding right here, which I know on my Kimber 82G, when I had the Action bedded, he bedded about this much on my Kimber. So I'm thinking this is a good thing. Of course, the Boyd has none of it. So lastly, just the connection on how the sling is installed. Basically, you have a hole in the wood and the nut and bolt. This one, you actually have the threading. Pretty impressive. So, yeah, I just want to show you the inside of the stock. Oh, one last thing. When I took the Action bolts off, of course, the trigger guard and whatever that other piece is called for the magazine just kind of falls out, and the Manor stock, it stayed in there. It comes out, but I think it's so tight tolerance and so nicely fit, just friction kind of holds it in place. So that just is just amazing to me. At this point, it seems like they can make this stock very, very specific to the measurements that they need to versus what they could do with milling out wood. All right, I'm gonna get these put back together. Okay, now I'm gonna run another video, and this is me running a bore scope down both rifles. The first rifle I'll put in there is the @1, and I just kind of run the bore scope down there without a mirror, you know, kind of to look at the barrel. So it kind of just goes straight through. I try to focus a little bit on the receiver to where it goes into the barrel. And you can see kind of where the rounds kind of rub against the Action, or I guess the barrel, before it goes into before the round goes actually into the barrel. You can kind of see rub marks in there, I think. And I actually I didn't expect you would get that from the CZs. I thought the CZs kind of, once you open the bolt and the next bullet came up, I kind of thought it went kind of out of the magazine straight and then goes right in. But I may be wrong, and you'll hopefully see in the video. I've never really used a bore scope before, so part of this was me just kind of wanting to try it. So the first video I'll run will be of the @1, and then I'll run it on the Precision Trainer, and I'll do just the regular bore scope going in, and then I'll add the 45-degree mirror, just so you can kind of see what that's like. I will say this: the Action looked better. Nice and clean and shiny on the Precision, Varmint Precision. But the @1, I actually think the barrel looked better. And I think that's because it's been used. Maybe 1,000 rounds has been through this gun right now, the @1. I actually think it looked better. It is a clean barrel, so I have cleaned it prior to running the scope through there. But like I said, I thought I'd just do it because I can, mostly. So I hope you enjoy that.